Good evening and welcome to the show. I am Lou Mongello. You are my friend, and this is WDW Radio Live. You might not recognize me. I think in all the years I've ever done the show live, I don't think I've ever worn a hat. So, but it's okay because it's Star Wars for a very particular reason, because that is going to be the focus, at least for a little while, of the show tonight. Listen, if you're watching live, thank you so much for being here. Do me a favor, grab a snack, get comfortable, put on your stretchy pants, maybe invite a friend to come and join and watch with us. And if you're watching on the replay, don't forget to join us every Wednesday right here, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And be sure to turn on notifications in the Box People group so you don't miss a thing. So, yeah, tonight, this was actually prompted by a couple of things. One, I had no idea what to talk about on the show tonight because with Dorian and everything, listen, I hope wherever you are safe and avoided the wrath of Dorian, which obviously has hit the Caribbean and the Bahamas really, really hard, and hopefully has made its way out to sea. But this was actually prompted by a question that I got earlier this week. Really about, I've got a bunch of questions about Galaxy's Edge, but specifically somebody said, listen, my husband and my son are huge, monstrous Star Wars fans, and we're going to go to Galaxy's Edge. We want to spend the whole day there. Do you think this is really like a morning, noon, and night? Like, can we get in there first thing in the morning and have enough to do throughout the entire night? And while I think, and you've heard me say this probably ad nauseum by now, that I think that the land is the attraction and the attractor and the characters and the cast really make it, I don't think that it's a place that you can spend your entire day. Do I think you should go in the morning and then go back at dusk, which is beautiful, and then again at night, and even ride Smuggler's Run again? Because, spoiler alert, you have it's nighttime in the attraction when it's nighttime outside, and it's daytime when it's daytime. So the visuals in the attraction do change from day to night. So I think you can go, leave, come back, maybe have dinner at Docking Bay 7, set up your Savi's Workshop experience, or go to Doc Ondar's, however you want to sort of experience your Star Wars day. But I started to think that for the really super I just realized I have a graphic that should not be here. Whoops. For the really super hardcore Star Wars fans, whether it's you or somebody in your family, there's actually stuff that you can do not in Galaxy's Edge, but outside Galaxy's Edge to still sort of satisfy your Star Wars craving. So tonight, we're going to look at 5-ish things you can do to get your Star Wars geek on outside Galaxy's Edge while still spending your day and your night and your money at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Not everything we're going to talk about is going to be free, but if this is your jam, this is the way to do it. Corey says, I say once Rise opens, it's going to be an all day just from waiting in line so you can stretch at a leisurely pace. Corey, keeper of the box, by the way, thank you for all that you did at D23 Expo and for our nation, for your sacrifice and service. I do agree with you. Once Rise of the Resistance opens, it is going to change the dynamic a little bit, but I do think that there's other stuff that you can, and if you're a Star Wars fan, should do. Now, obviously, as many times as I have tried, I've put on my robes. I obviously meet the height requirement. I cannot do things like the Jedi Training Academy. It doesn't go by height. It goes by age. And they're pretty much sticklers. They don't want 51-year-old guys taking the place of a 9-year-old kid. I get it, but I don't get it, and that's fine because, let's admit it, we all go to Savi's and Doc Ondar's so we can go and sort of wield our lightsaber like the poor lightsaber kid and that kid and his video. But anyway, don't laugh because we've all done it at home, whether people have been watching or not. So I thought I would come up with, and literally seconds before the show, I was trying to put together my list and graphics. Remember, I'm a one-man band here, so if the graphics don't match with what I'm saying, be patient, be kind. But here we go. So we're going to do very relatively quickly because, hi, I'm Lou Mongello. 5 ways to celebrate Star Wars outside of Galaxy's Edge. Let's hope I got the graphics right. So look, you know me. You've met me. The camera adds 10 pounds, and I'm using 2 very bad cameras. I'm all about the food, right? So while I think that there's an interesting selection of food inside Galaxy's Edge, it's not necessary. I don't necessarily. I don't know that I would go there for the food specifically. Now, I think that the food at, I'm going to kill this for a second. I think the food at Docking Bay 7 is good. It's a counter service location. I like the ribs. And there was like the pork loin or something that I really enjoyed. I also dig me a Ronto roast, although I do need to go back and have one for breakfast. But what you may not know is that with Galaxy's Edge opening this week, there's a lot of stuff that you can find, like merch and experiences and food outside of Galaxy's Edge. So you don't have to worry about waiting in line or dealing with the crowds to get in. So there's just a few of them. So for example, this is a Chewbacca chocolate hazelnut cupcake. Let that sink in. Chocolate hazelnut, which sounds like Nutella to me, but they can't say Nutella because it's not really Nutella, cupcake. Available now through September 21st at Everything Pop. So you don't have to even be at Galaxy's Edge. You can be at the resorts and at Landscape of Flavors at Art of Animation. It's chocolate filled with the Nutella spread and topped with a chocolate hazelnut buttercream and a chocolate candy sash that looks kind of like a Wookiee to me. There's also, and I'm just going to give you a couple of examples here. There is also, this is obviously the famous Darth Vader Dark Side dessert, which is available at Beach Club Marketplace for a limited time. Again, this only until September 29th. And at the Market and Ale, at the Ale and Compass. I'm watching this and I'm so hungry at the Yacht and Beach Club cake. Now inside, this is where it gets good. It's red velvet cake with cream cheese swirl and chocolate ganache on top of a sugar cookie. Can you say health food? That's what I'm saying. Yahtzee. And there's also, just to give you a couple of examples, these are some of the items you can find at Disney's Hollywood Studios. The lightsaber churros, which you can find through a number of different vendor locations. I know there's some by Rock and Roller Coaster, covered in red or blue sugar. It may or may not taste exactly the same no matter what color it is. It doesn't really matter. Ladies and gentlemen, that little treat on the right is a Galaxy Margarita, which is tequila, blue curacao, and lemon lime mix, not for the kiddies. There's also the Two Sons of Tatooine hummus, which you can get at Backlot Express. It's red pepper hummus with fried chickpeas. There's bantha skewers at Catalina Eddie's, which is chamula marinated beef skewers with couscous, salad topped with yogurt sauce. It kind of sounds healthy. Not pictured, but although sounding very delicious, are Darth Vader savory waffles at Hollywood and Vine. There's a Galaxy Far, Far Away espresso mousse, a Resistance shake, Galactic funnel cake at Epic Eats. There's all kinds of foods, no matter where you are or where you want to go. Look, it's just an excuse to have really good, somewhat fattening foods, but you don't have to go inside Galaxy's Edge to go get it. Now, the kicker and the key, book your trip at Mouse Fan Travel, is that a lot of these are available now, but are also only limited to, they're also only for a limited time. So I think they're only going to be running, for the most part, all of these, I believe, until the end of September-ish. I could talk about food all day. Hi, have we met? I'm going to move on, because you don't have to get all your Star Wars merch inside Galaxy's Edge. In fact, you can find a lot of stuff, and I think some things you can't find in Galaxy's Edge, at Keystone Clothiers. Now, I have not been inside the new location as yet, so I don't have photos, although I did see online that you are able to get Star Wars themed merchandise, not just that is themed towards the films, which obviously don't exist inside Galaxy's Edge, but you can find a lot of merchandise that's branded Black Spire Outpost. So you'll find a lot more here than you actually will find inside Galaxy's Edge itself. So you'll find like opening day, landing 2019 merchandise, BB-8 sipper cups. There's embroidered polos. There's a very cool Millennium Falcon shirt. There's tumblers, men's, ladies, kids. You can also get things like the C-3PO and R2-D2 droids while you're there, as well as BB-8. You can also get, not build, but you can get lightsabers there too. So you don't have to worry about necessarily waiting online at Doc Ondar's or the Droid Depot or any of the merchandise stalls if you want to get Black Spire Outpost, or more importantly, Star Wars merchandise. Again, you are not going to find the words Star Wars anywhere, in Arabesh or otherwise, inside of Black Spire Outpost. Why? Because you're on Batuu. Star Wars is a concept that does not exist there. It's a film. And if you talk to cast members, talk about where you're from and say, I'm from Earth, you have to sort of describe to them where it is, which I had a very, very tough time doing, partially because I was hungry. So we've got some food, we've got some merch you don't have to go in for. And in fact, go to Keystone Clothiers if you want to find some unique items, including some of the opening merchandise for Black Spire Outpost. Next on the hit parade is obviously going to Star Wars Launch Bay. Look, and I don't know how long or in what capacity these experiences are going to stay here, but this gives you an opportunity to check out exhibits of the costumes and models. There's some beautiful, beautiful concept art, as well as actual movie props. Again, you're not going to find those inside of Black Spire Outpost, as well as a lot of replicas which were created just for Launch Bay. You can also watch in the Launch Bay Theater. There's a documentary which I believe is exclusive to Disney's Hollywood Studios that features the creative team about the story. You can also explore some of the set pieces inspired by the films, like the cantina, and you can also get a hug. Well, not necessarily from Kylo Ren, but you can get a hug from Chewbacca. You can get some attitude from Kylo Ren and a cool photo opportunity with BB-8. So Launch Bay, again, is another way to get not your Galaxy's Edge nerd on, but your Star Wars specific nerd on. It's funny how Chewbacca is able to sort of fly back and forth between there and Galaxy's Edge. He's making that Kessel Run in however many parks that it must take him. Ryan Donahoe says Launch Bay is the only place outside of Lucasfilm headquarters where you can buy Lucasfilm branded merch as well. And Ryan should know because he is from theforce.net. And if you think your Star Wars nerdism is at a 10, his is at like a 36. And I mean that in the most affectionate kind of way. So thank you for all of that. Cindy loves her Batuu water bottle. It goes everywhere with me. I may or may not. Oh, yeah, I don't know if you can see it. I may or may not have a backpack full. Maybe tonight's the night. Maybe tonight's the night I need to give this away. But then again, I have a Walt Disney World one, and I have a black one from Disneyland. I'll have to think about it, because there's all kinds of fun stuff in here that I haven't quite even... I haven't even figured out how I'm going to go through it or give it away as yet. But wait, there's more, because I said there was 5, and I think we were only on 3. So if I've got this right, let's see if I've got this right. Next is Star Wars, a Galactic Spectacular. It didn't take very long for me to get back to desserts. It's the Star Wars, a Galactic Spectacular dessert party, Yahtzee, at Disney's Hollywood Studios, where you can enjoy Star Wars-themed desserts and drinks. Plus, you get a souvenir stein before getting to watch the show from a reserved viewing area. I was able to experience this. I was invited, I think it was last year, maybe early this year. I don't know. My space-time continuum is, maybe it was this year. All kinds of fakakt. Anyway, so the party begins at the Star Wars Launch Bay, where you can find all the things that we've talked about. Again, it's reserved just for the people who have who are doing the dessert party. Then you're seated for a buffet that has blue milk. It's a blue milk panna cotta with pearls, warm bread pudding, freeze-fried chocolate hazelnut mousse, and raspberry mousse domes, just to name a few. There's also a lot of savory stuff. This is where I shine. There's cheese and charcuterie, red pepper hummus, black bean dip with sriracha sauce, which is very, very nice, and a smoked sea salted flatbread. And if you're over 21, or you need to be over 21, you can also get some drinks to help all three sons feel a little bit cooler, like a Lightspeed margarita with tequila, blood orange, sour mix, and lime juice. There's also beer and wine, and some non-alcoholic beverages are available as well. And then when you're all done with that, you're escorted, not like in a stormtrooper kind of way, to a reserved viewing area where you really do get the best view. Dead center is not necessarily the best place to watch not just Star Wars: A Galactic Spectacular, but you also get to watch the wonderful world of animation, the new show at Hollywood Studios. This dessert party is $79 for adults, and if you're 10 or over, you're an adult, which stinks now because I have kids who are older than that, and it's $45 for kids ages 3 to 9. You do need admission to Disney's Hollywood Studios in order to partake of that. And fifth, but maybe not last on my list, is a Star Wars guided tour. Now look, this, I also had a chance to give this tour a try. I believe I did this last year when they first, my time is totally whacked out. But this is the way that you get to experience all of the Star Wars adventures at Disney's Hollywood Studios with VIP access. So it's like, because it is, really having a VIP tour guide at your disposal to take a guided tour. So you're going to see things like Star Wars: A Galaxy Far, Far Away in that reserved viewing area. You get priority access to enroll your younglings in the Jedi training trials at the temple, which I still can't do. You get your own hyper space adventure on Star Tours: The Adventure Continues. You get a meal with maybe a surprise and a giveaway. At Backlot Express, you get to do Chewbacca and Kylo Ren character meet and greets. And you also get, like I said, the reserved viewing of Star Wars: A Galactic Spectacular nighttime event. This, let me just double check the pricing. This price for the tour is $99 per person. I believe it lasted a few hours, and then obviously you've got the dessert party and everything again at night. But again, I was sort of using the barometer of this woman who's like, my husband is like the ultimate. He just wants to spend a Star Wars day at Walt Disney World. And how does he do it without, with being able to leave Galaxy's Edge? What else is there? But wait, there was one more thing. Not to pull a Steve Jobsism, but I guess I'm going to pull a Steve Jobsism, because I think if you are the ultimate Star Wars fan and you really want to go all out, I will tell you that one of my favorite experiences, and maybe something, Becky Mankin from MEI Mouse Fan Travel, that we need to do again, it's a bonus Yahtzee, because 5 is never 5, 10 is never 10. A Star Wars Day at Sea cruise. We did this, I can't believe it was February 2016. I can't believe, has it really been that long ago? We did on the Disney Fantasy, we did a cruise in February 2016. And it was one of the very first ones that they had done. And it is a single day at sea. It is not a Star Wars week at sea, just like it's not a Marvel week at sea. It's on select 7-night Eastern and Western Caribbean cruises from Port Canaveral. But I will tell you, if you are a Star Wars fan, they do this overnight overlay of different areas of the ship, and there are amazing character experiences. I think they said there's like 14 or so Star Wars characters. Here you can train to be a Jedi. There's a spectacular stage show. There's guest speakers, movie screenings, costume parties, and contests for kids and adults. There's a lot of trivia, a lot of different games, scavenger hunts. They do stuff in the kids club. They do stuff in the adult club. Becky, yes, they have adult cocktails as well. I've thought about doing this one again, although we need to do a Marvel Day at Sea cruise first. But if you're interested, I know that Becky Mankin and the entire team of MouseFanTravel.com can help you find out more about some of these themed cruises, which I think Disney does well. I will tell you, you've heard me talk about the Marvel Day at Sea cruise. We've done the Star Wars Day at Sea cruise. If you are a fan of those properties and those brands, it is absolutely something that I would suggest doing. So Becky just said Marvel or Star Wars or both. Marvel first, and then we've got a lot. There's a lot of Becky Menken coming up in my life, and I think that's why I'm stressing, and I mean that in the most wonderful way, because we're going to Indianapolis, we're going to Japan, we're going with lots of other places too, and we're planning for the future. And I will tell you that a Marvel Day at Sea cruise is absolutely on my radar, in my sights. It's just a matter of finding exactly where and when and where the ship is going to be leaving from. Right now, it only leaves out of Miami. Maybe it'll come back to New York again. You never know. But then we've got the Wish coming. So lots and lots of stuff going on in the future. But like I said, I want to just give you an idea of some ways that you could get your Star Wars geek on outside of Galaxy's Edge. So you really can spend an entire day in Disney's Hollywood Studios. And I think if you're a Star Wars fan, you can sort of give yourself your own Star Wars guided tour. The guided tour is wonderful. Like I said, I think it was $99. It included lunch. But you can sort of give yourself a way to do your own food tour, check out all the merch, do everything in Launch Bay. Really take your time going through the different exhibits. Treat yourself maybe to the Galactic Spectacular dessert party, or just stay for the fireworks and then do a little land and sea Yahtzee, and then surprise your husband, your son, your wife, your kids, yourself, and be like, you think your Disney World trip is over? Not so fast. We're going to Port Canaveral, and we're getting on a 7-day Eastern or Western Caribbean cruise with the Star Wars Day at Sea. I've packed your Jedi robes, or we bought them at Black Spire Outpost because you can, and they're awesome. Like, they came right off the thing. And then you go to mousefantravel.com, and they will help you book your trip as well. So, that I literally put that together in about the 10 minutes before the show. Corey says, I was sold on Marvel after the Brian Crosby interview. I was sold on Marvel when they announced it. Brian Crosby was just a nice added benefit. Man, I love that guy so very much. Even more so after talking to him offline and off camera about what's coming to Disney California Adventure. But, so Matthew says, have I done the Star Wars Void in Disney Springs? Is it worth it? So yeah, I've done the Void both here and in California. It's exactly the same thing. I think if you're right. I left that off the list because I'm a numbskull and I completely forgot, and I put this together in 5 minutes. But I believe the price is $29, $34, somewhere, for what probably amounts to about a 30 or 40 minute experience. I will tell you that even if you have done VR at home, if you've got Google Cardboard, if you've got your Oculus, it's different. And I don't want to spoil too much for you, but once you put that pack on, and once you put that headset on, and you are walking through this maze with that blaster in your hand, and you not only hear and see, but feel different sensations. You feel the impact of the vest. There's smells, there's heat. It's a much more truly immersive experience. I loved it. I did it by myself. Yes. Did I take my family? Did I take you guys? I don't know. I think I did. Yes, I did. Did I? I'm almost sure. Yes, we did. So my kids were able to do it. I think your kids do have to meet a certain minimum height and weight requirement because the pack is heavy. Becky Menken says $29.95. Corey Bassett says the Void is awesome. Stuart says, hello, everyone. I dig me some Stuart Sternberg. Amanda Catherine Cicero, good to see you as well. Mike Beckerman, always a pleasure to see you. Let's see. Let me just quickly go through. I just missed a couple of comments here. Julie Trandiley from the littlekitchen.net says, Matthew, my husband loves it. He is a huge, her husband is a huge nerd, and Star Wars nerd, and I mean that again affectionately. Kent is coming in less than 2 weeks, and let me just quickly catch up here. I thought that was a question I Didn't see. All right. Well, if I missed your question, ask it again. Let's see. It's funnier to watch people go through it. We're getting a void up near DC. Kids have to be. Lisa says kids have to be 10 years old for void. That's why you haven't done it yet. I don't know exactly how old your kids are, but I think they're not 10. Yeah, and the reason why, again, is the packs are very, very heavy. And if you're a wee little man, it can be very uncomfortable and cumbersome. So I get why there is the age limit. And I do believe there's a height or a weight limit as well. Clearly, I met the weight limit. Kayla Archer, the weather tonight is fine. We were thankfully we were very much spared, unlike places in like Castaway that were not spared by Dorian. So, Bryce says he thinks it's 12 for the void. I thought it was 10. I thought it was 10 years old for the void, but there's no age limit on the cruise. And now I'm thinking cruise again, because it's been way too long. And dare I say that our cruise to New Orleans, this is me looking for the graphic. Our cruise from New Orleans, it's close, but not close enough. And Becky Menken, correct me if I'm wrong, I still believe we have 1-2 cabins left, maybe still at day one pricing. You ask Becky in the comments if you're interested in coming. We're talking about, look in my eyes and hear the words coming out of my mouth. You're thinking about food, you dig yourself some food, not just at sea at Tiana's Place and Cabanas and Palo Brunch, but New Orleans is possibly the greatest food city in this great nation of ours. So we're going to do a little bit of stuff, I think, right before. We're still working out details as well. Lon Smart, good to see you, brother. I just wish we had more time to chat when I ran into you at Galaxy's Edge. I have only been 2 days. 2 days at Galaxy's Edge here in World. Matthew, do I think Star Wars weekends will ever be a thing again? I don't, and I think there's a few different reasons why. I think it's a very different celebration of Star Wars than what Black Spire Outpost is. I think they're looking at events like that to be more celebrated at things like Star Wars Celebration, which I believe now is back to being a yearly event. It was in Chicago last year. It's in, I want to say, Anaheim, next year. So that's really where you go for the panels and the presentations and meeting the actors and so forth. So Amanda Bonner says, I'm cruising in November on the Fantasy and then New Orleans in February. Oh, how much fun are we going to have? Amanda is from DisneyTravelForAll.com. How do I feel about the Rise of Skywalker trailer? Jared McCarty, I will tell you, and I said this when I left Star Wars Celebration, I've said over and over again about where my fandom sits in the original trilogy, and it very, very much has waned in a huge way over the last few years, and prequels and sequels, and I did not love Last Jedi. I did not love Rogue One. However, when I saw the Mandalorian trailer and when I saw the Rise of Skywalker trailer, my Spidey senses, my Jedi senses were tingling again. So I am back to being excited for it once again. Becky said, "Oh, if I missed the awesome, I knew I did it with somebody. I wasn't sure. Oh, that's right. We were in weren't we in California, Becky? I spent 15 to 30 minutes shooting me. Well, what else was I supposed to do? Like, if Becky's there and she's clearly a Sith hiding in Stormtrooper regalia, I won." And she also says there's two cabins left at day one pricing. Again, just quickly going back to our New Orleans cruise, you know the way Disney Cruise Line works. As the ship fills, the prices go up. It's supply and demand. However, thanks to whatever sort of magic Mouse Fan Travel does, we were able to lock in a couple of cabins at day one pricing. We have 2 left, so you can still take advantage of the awesome rate and the fun we're going to have, and oh, the fun we're going to have, and the fatness, and the food, and the fluffiness, and the stretchy pants. I can't wait. Thank you. Linda, we don't have any group hotel information for cruise yet. That is going to be coming probably in the next, Becky, week or so. So stay tuned. We have plans are in the works. Trust me. Ryan Donahoe says, especially at the Force.net and the Forcecast booth. Ryan, I assume you guys are going to be back. You guys were so wonderful and welcoming. I had a chance to sit and chat with you guys for your show at the booth. Will you see an audio guide to Galaxy's Edge in the future? Craig, if I had a nickel for every time I got asked this question over the past week, I would have 15 cents. But it's something I'm considering. It's something I'm considering doing because this has a little bit of a different appeal because it's not just especially here in Walt Disney World, it's not just the Black Spire Outpost tour, but it's where this sat in terms of the space it occupied in Walt Disney World history. And there are references to extinct Disney attractions here that do not exist in Disneyland. And I have been very quiet about them because I want to save them just in case I do a tour. So there's secrets and stories and details from a Star Wars perspective, as well as a Walt Disney World perspective. So I thought I had sort of put my audio tour career on somewhat of a hiatus. It may or may not be true. So Ryan corrected me. It's Anaheim 2020. Let's see. How much do I love DJ Rex? Caleb Joshua Hill. I dig Rex a lot, and I dig Rex when Rex has some of Rex's problems and he powers down and powers back up, and there's a lot of wonderful, subtle, and not so subtle tributes to who Rex was and who the voice of Rex is. So I dig it a lot, and I saw Rex is literally like flying off the shelves when I was there in, I get confused, California World. I don't remember which one. So people still talking about New Orleans. Becky, the graveyards. Listen to Becky where she goes, I talk about the food and the history and the culture. Becky's like the graveyards and the cocktails and the beads. Becky's tour is a little bit geared more towards the adult section, as you can see. So those already booked in New Orleans by this weekend. So we have created a private Facebook group as the final payments have come due, and we sort of know where everybody is and what's going on. We're going to open up that group, and we're also going to open up the hotel space and pre-tour and all the plans at Disneyland as well. Rex was at Disneyland. No, so you can actually, Julie, in addition to building your own droid at the Droid Depot, you can buy a pre-built DJ Wiki Wiki Wah Rex, who is not only remote controlled, but has some cool interactive features to him as well. So you don't have to do the droid building experience. You can buy an R2, a BB-8, and a DJ Rex, and a C-3PO, actually, droid from the Droid Depot that have some of the interactive features as well. So, Mary Wall, you do have drive-through daiquiri places here in New Orleans, which is both scary and fascinating to me as the overly concerned parent and the recovering attorney will attest to. That's awesome and crazy all at the same time, depending on which perspective you come from. So, Courtney says, the cruises keep being during when I'm teaching. Courtney, Becky will tell you. Maybe she won't tell you. I will tell you that when it comes time to discussing cruises, I go through a very serious internal struggle. We all do. We both do. Because there are the pros and cons to cruising at different times of the year. So, and obviously Disney knows this. Again, it's a supply and demand. So when you cruise in the spring or in the fall, not only do you get sometimes less intense weather, you also get less intense pricing during the summertime and the holidays. And when Disney knows people and teachers are off, the prices can increase literally by 40%. So we have experimented with timing in the past. We've done February, we've done November a couple times. We've done a few different times a year. And we also did some, and I said, all right, we're going to do one in the summer. We're going to sort of bite the bullet dollars and cents wise. And unfortunately, what ends up happening is everybody's like, yeah, I'm in for summer. Totally. My kids are off. I'm off. We can do it. And then when they see the pricing, they're like, oh, do we have to take all our kids? Do we leave one or two or all of them at home? Because the pricing is literally exponentially higher. So while I'm not completely discounting that, especially as the new ship, new itineraries, and new specialty cruises continue to release, it is part of what happens. And we saw when we did the summertime cruise, there was a huge attrition rate from the people who were like, yeah, I'm in, to it's time to make payment. And I get it, because it certainly comes at a premium because it's a Disney cruise and because it's a summertime cruise. But I'm very cognizant of it, especially because I have kids who are now in high school. It's much more difficult for me to take them out, although I did take them out in the second week of school. Bad parenting, I don't know. But I did it anyway. Kids, if you don't get into Harvard, Columbia, Yale, whatever, blame me and the fact that I took you to Disneyland. So tell your therapist. But I'm not, hopefully that you never think therapy. But so you understand the dilemma that I, especially as a parent, I understand, I sympathize with. And now, again, not being able to pull my kids out, certainly have to take that into consideration. So it's very, very hard when you open up bookings for a cruise and people make their initial deposits and then that number drops in a big way because of the price in the summertime months. So we do try and strike a balance. And I know that no matter when we go, no matter what time of year, no matter what ship, no matter what port, no matter what destination, it's unfortunately not going to be ideal for somebody, but we're doing the best. I promise. I mean, I care about the kids more than Becky does. We get that. But I promise you that I keep that into consideration. Matthew Woolley, look, I would listen. I think that teachers and military should get discounts everywhere all the time. I think a lot of people should. I mean, I think nurses should, first responders should, police, fire, military. Like, there's a lot of people that I think short, fat guys should. But seriously, there are some folks that I do believe, active and retired military, nurses, police, fire, teachers. I wish that there were more discounts. And I still believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I still believe the Swan and Dolphin has discounts for teachers and nurses, and I think military as well. Although if you're military, shades of green, and then please invite me to dinner, because it's the one restaurant I haven't eaten at in Walt Disney World. So, but yes, I'm not going to go off on a tangent. We're going to go off. Teachers need to be respected more, paid more, and given some of the benefits, because I believe the children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty that's been something inside. Give them a sense of pride. To be whatever. You know what she was saying. I forgot the rest of the words of the song, and I'm going to start singing it in my head. So, Kimberly homeschools their grandson, traveling homeschooler. That's the way to do it. I applaud you. I remember the first time I heard about homeschooling way back when I lived in New Jersey, and I'm like, I feel I'm woefully unqualified to homeschool my children, but give them the beauty they possess inside. Thank you. So, but yes, so now all the lyrics are gonna start coming up. So I too bad I couldn't cue that up and play that on the outro. So Mark says Swan and Dolphin no longer have teacher discounts. I will find. You know what? I will find out. I will find out for you. Usually Disney offers their specialty cruises and discounts during non-peak, non-summer holidays. Right, because they can easily fill the other times of the year. Listen, I will tell you, FWIW, which I think means for whatever it's worth, my parents pulled me out of school a lot. As a kid, in high school. Maybe that explains a lot since I talk about Mickey Mouse for a living. But I did graduate college. I went to law school. I graduated there too. I'm consider myself relatively somewhat maybe intelligent isn't the best word, but I do believe that travel affords kids some of the best education they can get. I believe that you can learn things on the road, at sea, in the air, and in other places that you cannot get out of a book. Some of my greatest learning experiences happened as we drove across country. I'll tell the story one day. When I was a kid, we took 5 weeks in like this big conversion van. Like we were like the Griswolds on super steroids and lots of Doritos. Literally the tops of my jeans were orange because I used to eat Doritos and just wipe them on my pants. But anyway, we drove across the top of the country, came down, went across, went to Disney World, and then drove back up the East Coast. I learned so much about American history and culture and people and food. Like I still remember in North Dakota meeting a Native American craftsman. His name was Pahaska. I don't know why I remember this. And this beautiful piece of art he had done on the back of some sort of skinned, possibly delicious creature. But I learned so much. So my very roundabout way of saying is it's a good excuse to go on a Disney cruise because there's lots of learning experiences. And there's even cool stuff that they can learn. Like Alaska, there are absolutely learning experiences that you can have on that ship that are truly educational that you wouldn't be able to find anywhere else. We got to do Alaska again, too. So Becky Mankin says, we can still get teacher, AAA, and Florida resident discounts. It's the trifecta at the Swan and Dolphin. It also applies to nurses as well. So there you go. See, that's one of the only reasons, maybe the only, still a couple of reasons why I use and recommend MEI Master and Travel for Vacation. Okay. So Courtney agrees life experiences are really important. I believe that 100%. It's understand the meaning when I say it's relatively easy to learn out of a book, but there are certain experiences that you can have. And look, in terms of family bonding time, it was some of the now is the time. Now is the best time to go and do those things with your family. Megan Desjardins says, I've always taken my daughter out of school for Disney. We aren't brave enough to go in the summer. She's a straight A student too. Experience outside the classroom is just important as sitting in a classroom. I agree with you, Megan Desjardins. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to get my New Orleans on, and I'm sorry if I butchered last name. So David Potts says, wait, whoa, 1 second, Mankin, are you telling me that we can use AAA discounts when we go through MEI and Mousefan Travel at MEI and mousefantravel.com? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, so Becky has to answer that for you. Eddie Kern now has me singing Holiday Road. Are there discounts for Brexit sufferers? I don't know, but we're going to Japan, brother. Like, it literally isn't like weeks. Oh, my God, it's literally in weeks. I have so much to do. Dan Boyle says, I am a teacher, and I fully endorse taking a student out for trips. They have plenty of time in life to make up a bit of school learning. Nothing makes up for trip learning. Dan, I agree. As time has gone on, not every teacher feels that way, and I get it. Sometimes it's because it does put extra work and an extra burden on top of the teacher. But now, look, my kids, there are no books. I mean, they literally don't have books anymore. Everything is on the computer. The homework is assigned, at night on a site that they have to go to. So it's a little bit less of having to worry about giving kids the homework. Look, when I took my kids away last week to Batu, I said, look, you've got to have your homework done. You can do it in chunks. You can do it, every other day, but you got to make sure before we get on that plane to go home, your homework has to be done or you don't get out of the room. And they did it. Martin says, Japan is weeks away. I hope I've lost enough weight. Was I supposed to be losing weight? You should have told me that before I went to Food and Wine the other day. That's can you use AAA for us? So Becky says, yes, you can use AAA discounts anywhere they're accepted. Remember, we book everything, not just Disney, but especially Disney. Hence the name Mousefan Travel. I mean, they go other places, but let's admit it. whatever. So let me see. D. Anderson, I agree. Family time is so important. There's a lot of pressure at polls and scores for teachers. Again, it's one of the reasons why you have my my support and sometimes my sympathies. So is Kevin Feige a nice guy? Daniel, Kevin Feige is literally the nicest guy in the world. I've told the story over and over again about how and where and when we went. You would never know that the guy is the head of literally a multi-billion-dollar studio franchise. He goes to Expo, I think, not just because he sort of has to go and get up on stage. By the way, the only guy during the presentation that did not use a teleprompter, Kevin Feige, I love you, brother, but he walks that floor because he genuinely digs it. He absolutely, he's a Disney fan at heart. And yeah, so it's still, there's a little, I squee a lot when I think that the person who helps to create these studios and the properties and the films I love so much listens to the show, and which is a lesson to you if you are a blogger, a podcaster, you've got a YouTube channel, you've got a Facebook page, you're creating content, you're creating something, you never know who is listening. And by listening, I mean purchasing, watching, reading, whatever. And I mean that not as a warning. I mean that as a good thing. Like, you never know who's listening. More importantly, and I don't mean just necessarily somebody of a celebrity stature, but I'm not going to say a name and I'm not going to tell the story because I'm not going to cry. But I met somebody at Expo that came to me and told a story about what the show had done for her at a time that she needed help and the way it helped her. You never know the impact that what you do or say or tweet or share or post or comment on has on somebody else. The ripple effect. Sometimes you think that you can see the first effect that it might have, but there's no way you can imagine how far those ripples might go. So, and I mean that in both a positive way and a negative way. So, me, positivity, all that kind of stuff. It's who I am. I love the fact that there's a positive ripple to things that I do. But remember, if you're a jerk, and I mean that, you know what I mean, that negative effect can go much longer than you might expect as well. And David Potts, I'm going to say this again and once and for all. I believe, I know, I trust, dare I say I have faith that Kevin Feige will save Spider-Man. And Spider-Man will be where he belongs. He will stay where he belongs with his family in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I thought I had my Spider-Man shirt on, but somebody get me a Spider-Man shirt or a hoodie or something. So, and that's not just saying it as a fan. I just, there's reasons why I believe that. So, Jeffrey Swish, if Tom Holland listened, me and my daughter, I don't know who would squee louder if I knew that Tom Holland was a listener. So, Jessica Allen says, the ripple effect from this clubhouse travels far. That's all on you. I don't mean you specifically, Jessica, but all of you. Like, the ripple effect that this group has is because of you and the way that you guys are and the way that you guys are with each other. Dave Jules from Edison, New Jersey says, I say it to my students all the time, for good or for bad, and I talk about this at Momentum a lot. There's no way to tell, and especially now in this day and age, those ripples, unlike a ripples in a pond, they don't go away. The things that you do online and the things that you say are there forever. And actually today I saw some things, and I'm not going to go into specifics, but that were really disappointing to me. And what I saw online didn't seem to match the person that I know. And I don't mean a celebrity. I mean just somebody in daily life. And I saw some of the things that this person was saying online and is part of the community and things. And I'm like, those things are, whether you delete that tweet or that post or whatever in 5 seconds, that's going to be there forever. What you said today is going to haunt you for a long time to come, and the ripple effect is going to be the loss of followers or fans or likes or subscribers or income or whatever it is. And sometimes you have to sort of take a pause before you hit that enter key or before you click send or post or comment, because once it's there, it's there. And I know, I say this when I talk to students, and I do some presentations where I talk about social media for students, and I've done it from grammar school to middle school to high school to college students. Deanna from St. Vincent's, if you're listening, you know exactly who I'm talking about. And I really try and make them understand that the internet is written in permanent marker. And if you haven't been subject to posting something and then trying to get rid of it, it's too late. Once it's there, somebody has screenshotted it. The Internet Archive has already archived. It's out there. And sometimes do things, they will come back to haunt you at a later time. So, but anyway, I didn't mean to sort of go off on a very weird and very tangential tangent. So, William Krepinski says, "Be excellent to each other." They're really making a Bill and Ted 3, as if Keanu Reeves is not awesome enough. There you go. So, you couldn't possibly do anything wrong. There's people who would tell you otherwise. When the Rise of the Resistance opens, will there be a live review? Kevin, I think there's going to be a lot to talk about when Rise of the Resistance opens. Because of, this is going to be the E+ ticket attraction. So the Internet Archive can be scrubbed. You can't misquote silence. Anna Garcia. I like that a lot. Again, I'll never tell my mom that she was right, but if you can't say something nice, don't say it. Just don't say it. There's enough mean, nasty people out there in the world. You don't need to add to that kind of nonsense. So, speaking of momentum, wait a minute. Speaking of momentum, hold on a second. Hold on. Oh, did I really delete this? Wait a minute. I completely forgot that, not that I forgot we were going to talk tonight, but I forgot that, let's see. Oh, come on. I know I decided, for a few different reasons, the reasons are not important, to do a special, flash sale. There it is. To do a special flash sale for Momentum. It's until midnight tonight, and for reasons that are unimportant, but it's because I know some people had a tough time for a variety of reasons being able to take advantage of some earlier sales and some of the earlier pricing. We only have about, I think right now it's 10 seats left. This $200 off sale goes until midnight tonight at 11. Actually, that's a lie. 11:59 p.m. That code will no longer work. You can still save $100, but in order to save the additional $100, you have to use the code FLASH200. You can screenshot this. You can share it out to whoever that you like. But I did look, I'm trying to make Momentum as accessible as possible to as many people as possible. And I know it is an investment, but it's one that I promise you will pay dividends. If you come, if you participate, if you're not going to be able to help but pay attention because there's a lot of cool stuff going on. If you avail yourself of the resources that are there. So if you're interested in coming, if you have a question about coming, you can use the code FLASH200. And now I have the Flash Gordon theme going on in my head. Speaking of, wait a minute, I just saw somebody say they are going to be in Ireland or England. I have completely, can you, wait a minute. You can tell I'm all over the place. I have a box of food sitting in my office and I forgot to open it. Now, first of all, it weighs a ton. So a couple of weeks ago, literally right before I went away, the McCann family from those United Kingdoms came to Walt Disney World and were kind enough to bring me this weighs like 80 stones. I don't know what an 80 stones is, but literally, like, I'm not kidding. There's got to be 8 pounds, 7 to 8 pounds worth of. I'm assuming it's food in here, because she told me it was perishable, and I did peek inside, and I can see right off the top it's food. So I promised the McCann family from Belfast, Ireland. They said, thank you for making our vacation extra magical. Oh, they made like a cute little, like, thank you, like luggage tag thing. I'm going to keep this, but I'm going to eat this. I promised them that I would open it live during the show. Oh, look, they even made me a birthday button because it was my birthday August 2nd. So I'm not going to put it on now because it looks like I'm trying to like mooch off the birthday love. But let's see what's in the box. Let's see what's in the box. These are Cadbury Bits o' Wispa. I'm assuming I'm saying that in Ireland-ish. These are Bits o' Wispa. And I get a free ticket if I go to a Merlin Entertainment attraction. Sea Life and Thorpe Park. So when I go to the UK, I know I can get a free ticket. So I don't know what this is. It looks like it's some sort of chocolatey goodness. Hold on. Wait a minute. Ooh. And I know the UK folks, you love your Cadbury milk chocolate. I'm more of a dark chocolate, but there's something about the Cadbury that smells and tastes delicious. Ooh. It's like an arrow. Oh. Oh, wow, that's lovely. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? A little spot of tea. It's very light and airy. Oh, there's no. Oh my God, there's so much. I'm gonna be so much fatter by the time the night's over. Oh my God, do I have to eat all these? My producer says yes, and my producer's me. Yay! These are Cadbury Twirly Bites. Twirl Bites. Carrie Kreger also loves dark chocolate. Michael loves English toffee. Cadbury is addictive. Becky, I'll bring these with me to Japan. We can eat them on the plane. I don't know what a twirly bite is, but I'm going to find out. Bits o' Wispa was my club name in the 90s. Julie Dolly loves herself some chocolate. It's kind of the same thing. I think I prefer the slightly aerated Bits o' Wispa. I think I just like the name. Now I want like a Bits o' Wispa t-shirt. These are Galaxy Minstrels. It's pleasure worth sharing. I'll just let you have a field day with that one. There you go. Pleasure worth. So Martin Shergold, am I doing this right? Oh, I get a free cinema ticket on Sundays if I collect 10 stars. I don't know what any of that word means. Oh, the bag like reseals. Let's see. I've been doing this all wrong. Galaxy Minstrel. I don't know what this whole sharing. I don't know what you UK people talk about sharing for, but let's see. Oh, it looks like a giant M&M. Oh, I get it. Wait a minute. God, you guys are so smart in the UK. Oh, it's got like a resealable sticky thing on the back. Oh, look at you guys. You fold it down, and then you stick it. If I had interns, I wouldn't. Crystal, oh God, Crystal, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Of course I would. There's no way I can eat all this. Oh my God, I'm gonna be so fat. Oh my gosh, it's HP sauce, which, from what I understand, you're supposed to put. Martin, correct me. You're supposed to just put on everything. Give me the top 3 things I'm supposed to put my HP sauce on, because I don't really know and I'm afraid to put it on anything. These I've had before. These are crunchies. My wife loved these, so I'm just going to save these and I'm going to give these to her as an anniversary present. I'm not kidding. There's also, so I guess Galaxy is not the same as Cadbury. This is Galaxy Smooth Caramel Smooth and creamy Galaxy chocolate with luxurious smooth caramel. Why have cotton when you can have silk? What does that mean, Martin? Why have cotton when you can have silk? I feel like Willie, like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, like I'm trying to get a golden ticket. I do have a golden ticket. Oh my, it's just one gigantic, huge, heaping... Oh, hello. I didn't even get any... Wait a minute, don't take the ends. There's no caramel there, is there? Ooh. Oh. Wow, that's lovely, too. My God, I'm so fat, sir. Thompson's Family Teas. Teas, not Tease. Oh, it's tea. I love tea. These are Punjana teas. Our first Punjana tea from my father. Wait. A little bit about our Punjana tea. First blended in 1955 by my father for my exceptionally fussy mother. It was her very own blend from the best Indian tea gardens, and she loved it so much she decided not to kill him and bury him in the back. No, she loved it so much she wanted to share it with everyone. Mom would be proud. Oh, Mum, M-U-M. I'm going to have this for breakfast tomorrow morning. Oh, look, I have an Irish pub cookbook. I don't know what any of the words inside this book means, but guess what? Deanna's getting that for her. My God, she literally just saved my anniversary presents. She'll love this. Perfect. Don't any of you rat me out to her for her anniversary, which is like in a week. Oh, wait, by the way, I just realized I'm not going to be here next week. It's my 20th wedding anniversary, and I think if I told her that I was going live for our anniversary, so I'll do it maybe either Tuesday or Thursday. She's also going to get the Irish Granny's bread and baking book, too. Look at this. Oh, my God. I got me anniversary presents. Julie Diley, you text her. I will never, ever, ever talk to you again. No dining reviews. No food at Epcot. Like, I'm kind of tempted. You know what? Wait a second. This is HP. Wow, there's a lot of HP sauce. Would it be weird if I just... Becky, you rat me out. I swear you will rue the day. Remember, you got to spend a lot of time with me on planes and in foreign lands. I can make your life a living hell. Would it be really weird and gross if I just tasted the HP sauce? Should I do it? Do I just open up a little package of HP? Wow, there's more in here, too. Or do I put it on a McVitie's Rich Tea Classic tea cookie? Oh, I'm having this for breakfast tomorrow morning. Maybe I'll even have it tonight. Yay. Can't forget the anniversary after all that somehow. David Potts, do you stop talking about my... Wow, what the heck is this? Wait. Do it. All right, I'm going to save my Cadbury Dairy Milk Marvelous Creations Jelly Popping Candy. It's like a Mary Poppins thing in here. There's just more. All right, I'm going to do it. Everybody says do it. Yes, but do it anyway. Surprise her at dinner at the boathouse. All right, wait a minute. This is going to be so gross, isn't it? You know, I never succumbed to peer pressure in high school or college, and now I'm like, okay, I'll do it. Crystal Sears says, oh my God, those are amazing. I don't know what you're talking about. Which one? This is a shoebox. Right, I know. Ooh, wait a minute. Oh, this actually smells good. Oh, wait a minute. Martin, what do I put this on? Wait a minute. This is really good. Hold on. Wait. Would it be gross if I did it this way? Oh, that's lovely. I like this. I like it. I like it a lot. The bar I just had. Yeah, so I'm going to get to the bar, but wait a minute. I kind of like this. It's tangy and somewhat sweet and smoky. I put it on fries. So I'm going to go to McDonald's, Wendy's, Red Robin with the big steak fries would be lovely. It's good on steak, eggs, and pork. I need steak, eggs and some pork. Anybody? Anybody know how to use that big black box in the kitchen thing where the heat comes out of? HP is good on almost everything. Okay, remember the Branson pickle? It took you age. I know, because Martin, I couldn't find it in my closet downstairs. Oh, I like this. You can only get it at the Highland Games. That sounds like something out of like Harry Potter. That's like a fake. Is that like a fake thing? It stings. It stings the nostrils a little bit. It does. It sort of stings the back of the throat. Debbie, it's much more twangy and tangy than A1, but it does have even jacket potatoes. Martin, you got to speak English, man. I don't know what the heck a jacket potato is. Do not ruin the chocolate. So I want to put this on something. If Deanna's in here, Deanna, I need French fries. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, literally right now, I need French fries. Trying on pork roll. Renee Blackmore. Oh, my God. How are you? Ignore everything that you've just seen, Renee. I am not sitting here trying food that was sent to me in a box from a foreign country. That's exactly what I'm doing. Jacket potatoes, are they the same thing as a bake? I need some sort of potato product, preferably cooked, because I have an open container of HP sauce and I'm not afraid to use it. Ixnay. Donald Nicholson, I got you, bro. French fries, that's what we're talking about. That's all. It's great on burgers. Oh, so maybe, probably don't mean like a McDonald's burger. But now I sort of want a hamburger and French fries. Martin is, Dan, I don't know what language Martin is speaking. What? Deanna, just so you know, this is what you signed up for. The guy that you thought was going to be a lawyer, sitting in his office in a Star Wars hat, sucking HP sauce out of a packet. Living the dream, baby. Look at this. Look what you got. Sorry. A potato cooked with the skin left on. I've had him at Rose and Crown. I've had him at home too. Tehran Ishmael. I will call you Ishmael and tell you that I really want a burger and French fries. No, a real burger, although it might improve the McDonald's ones. I think they actually have HP sauce at the Boathouse, but I'm always afraid to put sauce on anything because, like, I think when you put sauce on things, sometimes it's not the way the chef intended it. So, scrambled eggs, fried eggs, bacon, sausages. Man, I'm hungry. Yeah, I just need something to put this on. If only there was somebody here who could somehow get me or make their poor, starving husband working so hard up in his office some French fries or whatever. But now what do I do with this? For crying out loud, a baked potato. I know, but I'm so hungry and now I don't know what to do with this. And okay, I'll be back for you later. Well, show's over. Good night, everybody. Good thing the hurricane snacks. Oh, Melanie Jones, I'm so happy that we bought extra hurricane snacks. Skip the dishes and bring them fries. But wait, we do have one more thing. It's a marvelous creation of jelly popping candy. It even has instructions. Peel here. Wait a minute. Wait, I can't get this open. What is this? Locked? What the? Easy reclose pack. I think not. I can't even open the pack, let alone reclose it. Oh, there we go. Hold on. So wait a second. Martin, this better not be some sort of like weird thing that you guys do to American people to make us look silly. Cocoa Life. I don't know what that means. Marvelous Creations Jelly Popping Candy. That's exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. So it's milk chocolate with some sort of a gelatinous, almost jelly bean-like consistency to it. But you also sort of get that Rice Krispie like poppableness in your mouth. God, there's so many different ingredients in here. So I don't know exactly what it's made of, but there are sugar-coated cocoa candies and popping candy. So is it like Pop Rocks? Wait. It's actually lovely. There's one kind without the jellies and just the popping candy. I got them both. I got the jellies and the popping candy. Booyah! So, Jill McCann and all of the Ireland McCanns, thank you so much for literally schlepping this box of chocolates and goodness and goodies, none of which I have any intention of sharing with anybody in my family, except maybe some of the chocolates. If you're watching, thank you. If you're not, I will make sure to let you know. Plus, I got my birthday button and I'm gonna put my little birthday tag on my birthday button, so I'll always remember who it's from, and I'll put it up on the shelf of stuff. There you go. So, Chris Menace, lovely is the word I'm using because it's a lovely proper British word thing. So, does getting older mean you spend your birthday watching a guy eat candy and condiment packets? Oh wait, David Potts, it is your birthday. Holy smokes! I just wished you happy birthday this morning, didn't I? I have no concept of space or time. Wait a minute, everybody, do me a favor. Please wish David Potts, who spent and shared our, it's not called Backstage Magic anymore, but our, what's it called now, Becky? Whatever. I'm going to call it Backstage Magic Adventures by Disney with us last year? 2 years ago? I have no idea. Actually, I just noticed your profile picture on Facebook is, at the Henson Studios, which was one of my favorite parts of said Adventures by Disney. So, happy birthday, buddy. We need to adventure by Disney yet again. Wife listening in the other room has Lou been drinking. No, Craig, Lou's been eating. Lou's been eating. And this is just, I say this all the time. And I try and impart this lesson on my kids. Like, I don't need to drink to have a good time. Clearly, like, it doesn't take a lot. It takes a box of chocolate that a stranger bought from Ireland, and I ate without any concern at all to have a good time. So, if I don't make it through the night, it's been a great time. Thank you. Corey, I don't just eat my calories, I eat my emotions, clearly. So this is just a box of emotions, and that's how I deal. So, but, what would I ever have to be sad about? I am surrounded by friends, whether we have met yet or not, and you guys are the greatest people literally on the planet, which is why Chris says we love you and your adventures and eating. It's why I like sharing the adventures with you, whether they are here, whether they are somewhere else, and I love and appreciate you. If Matt Perry, look at Matt Perry, so sympathetic. Listen, man, if you don't make it through the night, I call dibs on the Spider-Man chair. So I appreciate your concern for my well-beings. So, Corey Bassett says I need a box keeper for Rise Resistance. Listen, man, if you lived here, it'd make life a lot easier. I'm just saying. So, and he says, wait, you can't leave. Corey Bassett's giving me the force wave. Cindy Moat Steppin, always nice to see you as well. So Chris Banas, I think I know before I left for Expo, I wrote you a very long Facebook message, and then you sent me a message, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know I typed it out and I sent it. I'm a crazy person, so either it didn't go through or I closed my laptop too fast. But yes, wait. I just put them up here. Wait, I literally just put them up here. Hold on. Where'd I put him? Wait, he's here. There he is. I did get my present. Thank you so much for thinking of me and giving me my little Spider-Man new suit far from home. I wish I could make him just stand right there, but I can't. Can I? No. Thank you so much for thinking of me and sending that to me. I just put your card up on the shelf with where I keep, all sort of cards and written correspondence like that. Thank you. I am so sorry that for whatever reason my message didn't go through, but so many of you are so incredibly kind and generous and thoughtful. You have no idea what it means to me. And I told you, I'm not getting weepy, but, I didn't always have that. I wasn't always surrounded by people who, by friends who treated me that way. So, it makes me warm and fuzzy and yet a little bit uncomfortable because it's so foreign to me, but it touches me in ways and it means more to me than you guys know. So it doesn't always have to be food or a Spider-Man figure, although they both help. The kindness and the generosity and the love and the messages and the support means more than anything else. So hopefully I will see you in real life soon because the best part of this is the handshakes and the hugs, usually not necessarily during marathon weekend, which again will be here before you know it. But a couple of very quick reminders. Again, Becky says we have 2 day 1 pricing cabins left for our cruise out of New Orleans. You can take advantage, or if you know somebody else who would like to take advantage of it's now down to 3.5 hours left, flash sale for Momentum. There's 10 spots left. I expect them to go over the next couple of days. If you know somebody who you think could take advantage of this, please feel free to send this along as well. Really excited for our list of speakers this year, not the least of which is Steve Schussler. You may know him from such places as The Boathouse, Rainforest, T-Rex, Yak and Yeti, The Boathouse, and The Boathouse. So there's that. If you are not a member of the Box People group, please be sure and join. I've loved seeing our Box People family grow. Please not only join, but invite your friends that you think would feel at home here, because that's exactly how I want you to feel. And thanks as always to all of you who are part of the WDW Radio Nation family. I cannot tell you how much your support means, not only to help literally keep the lights on for the show, and there's some things that I'm working on that I hope to reveal over the next few weeks that I think that you are really, really, really going to enjoy. And yes, Becky, you have no idea what I'm talking about because I haven't talked to you or really anybody about this as yet. What else am I forgetting? What else do we have coming up? We've got, I don't know. We've got other stuff coming up too. Thanks as always to Mouse Fan Travel. And by the way, speaking of the Box People group, if you guys get a chance, go into the Box People group after the show. You'll see that I posted earlier today. It's probably the first thing that you'll see. It's posted as an announcement. I'm looking for feedback from you in terms of if somebody was to just find the site and the show now. We've got a couple of polls in terms of where do you think they should start, right? So give me the 5 episodes you think they should start with, the 5 interviews, the 5 top 10s, and maybe the 5 blog posts that they should start with. If they are new to our WDW Radio family and community and the site and the show, there's 4 different polls in the Box People group. Would love your feedback. And also, I've also posted, and they're just sort of temporary placeholders for now, but there's some PDFs and some lists broken down by interviews, by top 10s of every episode to help make it easy for you to try and think back, go back and remember. Or if you've never listened to any of the episodes before, go back and check them out for the first time. Most of the content you'll find really is evergreen, so you might actually find a show that you may or may not like. Martin is voting for show 461. Just kidding, but probably not. I'm going to assume that Martin Shergold, that is the day, the wonderful day that you and I spent in the United Kingdom, not in the real United Kingdom, but in the World Showcase United Kingdom. So, top 10 smell. Yeah, top 10 smells big. Richard Sherman was up on there. Musty Water Smell, Marty, Richard, any top 10 Corcus shows. Ryan Donahoe says, I listen to episode 1 every morning when I wake up. Crystal says, have fun at Momentum. Crystal, I so wish you were going to be at Momentum again this year. Louis says, start with the first episode. David Potts, 536. Wait, what's 536? I don't even know what 536 is. So, UK Snacks, that was a good time. We ate a lot of the things that were in this box, as a matter of fact. So whatever your favorite episode is, the one that you think that you would recommend to somebody who's just finding it, there's a method to my madness, and you'll understand exactly what I mean. Hopefully very, very soon. Martin Schulgold, quit sucking up to Becky Mankin from MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. Top 10, Little Timmy Foster's. Yeah, Ryan Donahoe, man, keep in touch, man, and we'll definitely try and get together one of these days soon. I arrive in Indy Friday night. I have a dinner that evening, and then we'll be there on Saturday. I'm out on Sunday, unfortunately, but looking forward to it. I don't have a graphic to put up, but I'll be in Indianapolis in 2 weeks for the Indy Disney Meet. So it should be a lot of fun. Thanks to all of you. We just not HBO special. Okay, I need to go finish my HP sauce as well as some things that are not on that board but are on this computer, and I definitely need to get done very, very soon. Thank you guys again for spending and sharing your evening with me. Please don't forget to invite a friend to be part of this amazing community and clubhouse that you have built. I love you. I appreciate you so very much. So until next time, to the Spires.